Hi, everybody. It is Friday, November 6th, and today is the end of the first hybrid week, and it's a blue hybrid in-person day today. Congratulations, we made it to Friday. I'm recording this on Thursday afternoon, so at this point, we still don't know who the next president's going to be. I've got some interesting presidential trivia for you coming up. At the end of the day, if you are a student in middle school, you should know what your plan is for the end of the day. That means you know if you're getting picked up, who's picking you up, do you ride the bus, are you walking home, are you going home with somebody else that your parents arranged for you to get picked up, an uncle or something. All of that should be a plan that you know when you're coming to school and that you remember at the end of the day when the school day ends. So make sure that parents, you communicate with your kids what the end of the day plan is, and at 3:30, students, remember what that is and execute that plan. Okay. It's really tough for our secretaries to be able to answer the phone calls, find the student, call down to that room, get a message to that student at the end of the day to change a plan or remind you of the plan or anything like that. We've had several students, especially sixth graders, forgetting their bus numbers, etc. Rehearse that, practice it, make sure you know what your plan is at the end of the day. We have one more day to submit videos or photos for Veterans Day. Remember, if you have a veteran in your life, this is a great way to honor them and for all of us to learn a little bit about service to the country and to our community that the veterans provided for us. So make sure that you have an opportunity, you take an opportunity to remember your veteran and honor your veteran in this way. So submit the videos, submit the photos. Today's the last day, but if you can get them over the weekend, I can still take them. I don't want to leave anybody out if you have a veteran you want to honor. Okay. I'm putting a link to the lunch menus for hybrid learners. So if you're coming in to school on Blues days or Gold days, and you want to know what you're eating, there's a link right below this link for the announcements today for the menu for school. Okay, so that way you have it. Remember, lunch is offered free to all students right now. The federal government gave additional money so that we can offer free lunch to students, so that's free. But if you want an extra entree, that costs money. You have to purchase that. The cafeteria is not taking cash, remember, because it's too easy to spread germs that way, but they will, if you have money on your account, they'll enter your number for you, and we can sell that to you, okay? But you have to have money on your account. All right, presidential trivia. This question came from Catalina Conley by email. She just was curious about something about the presidential election, and she said, I know we talked about electors earlier, but what if there was an election and there was a tie in the Electoral College? Remember, we don't have a direct election in the United States. The states all vote, and whatever, like Ohio voted for Donald Trump, President Trump, okay? So the electors from Ohio, then when they have their big meeting in December, electors are people, they go to the Electoral College, which is a collection of electors, and they cast all of the votes from the electors from Ohio for President Trump. That's what they're required to do by law. Now, if it's at the end of that Electoral College, okay, where they all get together and vote, it comes up to be 269 to 269. And it's a dead tie in the Electoral College. What happens? That's what her question was, okay? So this is what happens. And mathematically, I don't think there's a way this year with all of the states that are already decided. And as I'm speaking to you right now, I think there are still 5 states, maybe 6 that are undecided if we include Alaska, Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. There's 6, okay? There's 6 states still up in the air. So either candidate could win at this point, but mathematically, I don't think there's any way that they can both get to 269 based on what's left. So this is hypothetical. If this happened, then actually the president is not elected by a popular vote anymore. What happens is the decision then goes to the House of Representatives. Okay, so the House of Representatives then has to pick the president, and this is how they do it. It's kind of interesting. So there's, I think, 435 members of the House, something like that. And so the House of Representatives, they don't all individually vote for the president. What they do is they get all of the House members from Ohio. Those guys get together and they say, okay, who do we want to be president? What do you think? What do you think? Now, typically it would probably be, they would leave it up to a vote from that group of people. And if there's more Republicans, my guess is they would go to the Republican candidate. If there's more Democrats from that state, they would go to the Democratic presidential candidate. But every state, they get together and they say, okay, we want this person, and they get one vote for that person. All right. And then the next state gets together and they decide who they want and they get a vote for that person. Okay. So that's how it happens. And the House of Representatives does that. Okay. So states vote as units. And what that means is all of the House members from one state come together and vote like their own mini state. Each delegation gets one vote. So Trump or Biden would need to win the backing of 26 state delegations to win the presidency. Okay. So that's how that works. Now, interestingly, this is an amendment to the Constitution. The Senate picks the vice presidential candidate. So we could have, do you know how the tickets work? So it's President Trump and Vice President Pence. That's one ticket. And Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, that's the other ticket. But we could have a situation where, depending on how those votes go, let's pretend the House of Representatives picked President Biden, the Senate could pick Vice President Trump, and that would be who was president and vice president because they're selected separately. So that's a great question, Catalina, and I hope you enjoyed the answer. I had to do a little research to get that. Have a great Friday, everybody, and a great weekend to the Gold Hybrid Group, which ended their week Thursday.